It's part two. Get into it. It's probably like maybe 20 minutes, 30.
That neighborhood and the gang set that ran those streets was commonly known as Brick City, with the name actually being inspired by the brick paved alleyways that can be seen in the area.
The bricks is the 59, you know what I'm saying? So it's like Brick City, if you came in our hood, it's like the alley is like bricks, like real bricks, not even like cement, bricks in our alley. So like Funny was on some Brick City, and we was like the younger version of Brick City.
The back of our eye, so you know how the old town roads used to be, bricks. Pavements. They just changed it literally like a few months ago, bro. Our whole alley from 59th all the way to 58th was like that still, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how they Brick City type. And then we got to give a props to our females started our for real. They used to walk block to block and beat the out of people, beat up and everything. Brick City, and now it's coming looking for us, and we don't even know what's going on. Like that's really start cracking in our. Then it was going on with us fighting. But yeah, we was Brick City, bro.
Now, the members of Brick City were a mixture of GDs and BDs, which was somewhat common for sets during the years following the demolition of the large project buildings that forced many gang members to move to new neighborhoods, which would place BDs and GDs.
Oh, so that Brick City was full with BD niggas. It's crazy. It's actually crazy though, for real. That it was actually full with GD niggas.
Side by side in the same streets.
Was Brick City originally GDs?
Originally GDs? It's a lot of the older guys who was GDs. I say that because now you can't say that because a lot of them come from 59, come from the 6217 building, Calumet, you know, from the projects, and that was a BD building. So it was mixed.
It's like our neighborhood though. It's like one of the only neighborhoods in our area that's got more than one gang. Where I come from is GDs and BDs. We might got some stones over here.
Apparently the members of Brick City would often go and hang around the 61st Street where their hood borders with the hood of another set called Front Street, which at the time was actually known as Dipset, taking its name from the legendary 2000s rap group from New York called Dipset or the Diplomats.
Back then, before all this 600 got made, it was just everybody hanging on Front Street for real, like what used to be called Dipset. It was all us running through that, and then we all made our own ways to hoods that's right next to each other.
Front Street, aka Dipset, is perhaps best known for the drill legend Fredo Santana, who was also a close associate of 600.
Where's TV, man? This Dipset, 51st and Chicago. You know, season 1 Dipset. You know, we out here. The original.
Do you see how they used to be like so close with each other? Remember, they said they used to be homies. They used to be friends. Remember, they used to be friends. So they used to be, you get what I'm saying? Like, they used to be cool with each other. It's crazy how, I'm saying, it works, man.
Santana from Chicago, you feel me?
In fact, Fredo Santana's artist name was also inspired by the rapper Joel Santana from Dipset, who also inspired Fredo's habit of rocking bandanas, with him sometimes even being referred to by the nickname of Bandana. Now, Brick City and later 600 was also seemingly close with the nearby Black Disciple gang set O Block from the nearby Parkway Gardens projects, which is less than a mile from.
Oh, they're only 14 minutes away from each other. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know they're only 14 minutes away from each other. That's crazy. I ain't
600's hood. Now, court documents from the murder trial of FBG Duck would actually reveal that the affiliation between O Block and Brick City, or 600 as it was somewhat prematurely labelled in court documents, might actually go back as far as 2007. At the time, O Block was still known as Wick City, WIC meaning wild, insane, and crazy, with the letter I multiplied 3 times to highlight their identity as Black Disciples. Now, this old poster from around 2011 would actually showcase the alliance between Brick City and Wick City, with it including many names of Brick City members who would later form 600. This includes guys like E-Day, C-Day, Domo, Lil Boo, Booker, Inky D, Manny, Davon, who would later become known as D-Thang, as well as Stello and Yo.
So what? E-Day, C-Day, Domo, Boo, Booker, and famous D-Thang, Manny.
Young F, aka Young Famous. The poster also mentions Keef, as in Chief Keef, who was indeed seemingly close with Brick City members even before 600 was formed. And this can even be heard in his 2010 song, My Partner Dem, where a young Chief Keef actually shouts out numerous sets that he was affiliated with, including Brick City. In an old video, Chief Keef can even be seen filming himself while walking in the streets with Brick City members rolling through their hood. Now, this poster also mentions a group called the Bezel Boys. This was a rap crew from Brick City who were actually the precursors to the numerous rappers that 600 would eventually produce, with this group being made up of Young Famous, Huncho Hudo, and Chief Rio, who would all later go on to rep 600. Now, unfortunately, most of their old songs and music videos have seemingly been scraped from the internet, except some of their really early collaborations with Chief Keef. But even before the Bezel Boys were seemingly officially formed, they and other Brick City members were already repping their set in songs, like in this 2009 Soulja Boy's Turn My Swag On remix by Young Famous, Huncho Hudo, and E-Day. But Brick City seemingly also had many enemies. In fact, before Lil Durk and Lamron would become close with members from 600, Lamron was seemingly having a beef with Brick City, as Lil Durk would diss them on his 2009 song R.I.P. Mo. In another example of Brick City's beefs, at the beginning of one of the early music videos of rapper FBG Duck, who rep the set STL and are allied with another crew called EBT, with their combined name STL EBT standing for St. Lawrence and Eberhard Avenues that run along 63rd near O Block. On this song, Duck and his friends can be heard dissing Brick City whilst repping another set from the area called MOB, who have had a long-standing beef with Brick City and later on 600.
Shout out MOB, man. What phone number, man? What number, man? You already know, man. We in this B, man. Brick City, man. That's how I'm gonna start doing it, Bricks, man. City, shout out MOB. Crazy, man. Shout out to Crazy, man.
Also in 2011, a classic piece of drill culture was recorded when members of STL EBT, together with members of other sets like Jaro City, another nearby gang who have also had a long-standing beef with Brick City and 600.
Do you see how close they are to each other? Look, you got MOB up there, you got 600 right there, you got Jaro City, and then, bro, look how close. I just don't know how to, and then you got Parkway Gardens right there. I just don't know how they even live like this. To be honest, like how do you literally gotta look over your shoulder every time. Literally, you gotta look over your shoulder every single time. I just don't know how they did it. To be honest, I don't know how.
600 would film themselves mobbing through the neighborhood.
There we go. We out here, man. We out here, Stu. L's up, man. We die here, man. We die wild. We do all that, man. Big L's. Big L's, man. Rock, what it do, Stu? You already know what the it is, man. We out here. Pulling them out here, man. Hey, DJ!
During this video, they would actually spot a cop car, and the person filming would shout out the Chicago PD for killing Chief Keef.
Shout out CPD, man. They killed Chief Keef.
Because this vlog was actually filmed at a time when a rumor was going around that Chief Keef had actually been killed in an armed altercation with the police, with that rumor actually inspiring his later mixtape title, Back from the Dead. Later in this video, the gang would actually run into another police patrol who actually diss their ops over the megaphone, shouting F Brick City, which causes the young gang members to go crazy.
CPDK, man.
Nah, this is crazy, y'all. See, the police know what they're doing. This is why they do it. The police know what they be doing. The police know what they be doing. It's the craziest thing ever. The police know what they be doing, bro. They know what they be doing for real.
Now this video goes to show you just how deeply invested the local police are in the local gang politics. Eventually, coming into the 2010s, there began to also be other gangs that youth from the area would begin to rep. The younger guys from Brick City's hood would begin to create their own little cliques around middle school age, and one such clique would seemingly be called Bang City, using the same BC initials as Brick City. The guys from the area would also use the initials BCMG for Bang City Money Gang, and some of the older guys would even make and post music under the BCMG name around 2010, with Tay 600 suggesting that they could have been going as early as 2009. But in the early 2010s, there was also another, much more serious set that began forming in the neighborhood, 600. As early member Tay 600 will tell the story, 600 actually got started due to some of the youngsters not feeling respected by the Brick City's older members, making them want to be their own bosses. Particularly one of them, who had older brothers in Brick City, would turn out to have the experience and leadership qualities needed to form his own set in the streets. That young man was Devon, aka D-Thang.
It came to a point where, you know, D-Thang was really on his, he was out here, you know what I'm saying? And he really couldn't be Brick City like his big brothers really was, you know what I'm saying? Because he really was young, you know what I'm saying? Like, folks getting that, man, he out here, you know what I'm saying? He like, all right, okay. Folks really came out and started trying to put his own shit together, folks. D-Thang used to be a who, like I said, he led by example. Like, that's what I fell in love with about D-Thang, man. I feel like he was never a who would steer his in the wrong way. He'd never, like, try to tell you to do nothing that he wouldn't do type. Like, and that's some shit that everybody was able to get behind, or just, I feel like everybody was able to get behind, but that really resonated with me. D-Thang was like a triple threat, man. Like, anything he put his mind to, you know what I'm saying? Like, anything he tried to put his mind to, he was good at. Hooping, football, getting big, shooting at ops. Like, it's just anything he wanted to do, man.
If he was good at hooping and football, how come he couldn't pursue that? Why did he have to pursue the game life? If he was good at hooping and football, he could have pursued that.
Like, anything Shorty wanted to do, he was doing it at the best it could be done on Fulham, like, at the highest level.
Was doing D-Thang was really like, not Dirk brother, our D-Thang.
But all right, that's a good thing that you said that, because back in the day, I always used to get D-Thang, Dirk brother, and y'all D-Thing confused, because everybody used to, on the internet, there's a lot of videos.
And now we got a Bronx D-Thing too. Even more confusing.
So everybody get their names from the right.
Who was D-Thing to y'all? Because it seemed like D-Thing and Lil Boo get like a lot of respect.
So it's different, because D-Thing technically died in my arms, so it's different with me, bro. That's my real brother. Like, we used to go to parties and dance with the, take our shirt off and be rolling and freaking on and shit. Probably like, that's my real brother. Like, besides the savage shit he did, like Shorty was really like that, to sleep under a motherfucking porch and knock you down type shit. Like, he was one of them faces, savage, heinous, like, but you would never look at him and think that, because he, feel me, that he a good-hearted, but for the shit that we had going on, he'll live and die at 600 shit. And feel me, we gotta always get 3 times that's his D-Thang 3 times, bro. We gotta give him his props. His brother M-Thang, his brother Trigger, his brother Damo, his brother.
D-Thang, together with his right-hand man Little Boo, would begin recruiting other guys from their hood, with some of the earliest members of 600, including guys like Manny, Inky D, Lil Boo, D-Thang, C-Day, AK, Kuda, and Buka, who many fans of Lil Durk now know for signing with his OTF label, with more early members including older guys like Trigger, M-Thang, and Domo, who were all actual blood brothers of D-Thang. There was also Baldy, allegedly an original member of Dipset or Front Street, as well as Shaq, Shark on Land, and of course the Bezel Boys, Young Famous, Huncho Hudo, and Rio, the latter of whom also reps the Squirt Town set, as well as Rio's brother Jizzle, although Jizzle is often considered to simply be an affiliate, with his original set being Squirt Town. Then there were younger guys such as Boss Moo, who is also a brother of Inky D and Manny, and would later become associated with Chief Keef's Glow Gang crew. There's also Lil D, another younger member. Then there's Dro Philly, Trix, Face, Waldo, Lil Steve, and Porky, who was often considered to be the youngest member of 600. 600 also had notorious shooters like McAdoo, aka Macaduya, 60, and Just Blow, who's another 600 member who would later become heavily associated with Lil Durk and OTF, although his input as a rapper was largely inconsistent. There's also Blasters, with the names of these two, Just Blow and Blasters, pretty much speaking for themselves. Then there's Cap 12, Bite Down, and of course D-Rose, who would end up becoming one of the most infamous shooters in Chicago drill history, due to his young age and look, combined with the numerous shout-outs that he got by early drill legends like Chief Keef and Lil Durk, who usually rapped about this baby-faced assassin as one of the first shooters that they would call if they needed some muscle. Later on, King Von would commonly mention D-Rose in his songs, who unfortunately at that point was already fighting very serious charges despite his young age. In fact, whilst King Von himself was mainly known for going hard for his hood, O-Block, he should also be mentioned in the list of infamous shooters for 600, as a young King Von was known to hang out with members of 600 damn near every day, as he tweeted in 2012. Von would often also claim to be a 600 member in his old tweets, even dissing their ops for them. Recently, in the trial against members of O-Block that were charged with the murder of FBG Duck, even court documents would highlight Von's association with both O-Block and 600, mentioning how he had both sets tattooed on him. And lastly, while many in
so he was 602. I mean, they're all cool to each other.
600 have dabbled with
And
rapping.
they all
There would be
literally rep the same thing.
certain rappers who would end up making the Team 600 one of the biggest things to ever come out of the early drill scene, including one of the early pioneers of drill music.
They can probably all rep that, but they're not from, you know, saying from that block or whatever. But they can probably, you know, saying they can probably just rep that. You know what I'm saying? Just they can just really rep it. Feel me? So it don't really matter. They can just rep it. They can just rep it.
Music, E-Day, who was arguably not only amongst the first ever drill rappers, but who also specifically took dissing and disrespecting his ops to whole new levels with songs like War that he released in 2014. This would likely inspire Chief Keef to drop a song with the exact same name only a few days later, equipped with equally disrespectful lyrics. Then there's also S. who was one of the first rappers out of 600, as well as Mimo 600, who is the big brother of Lil Steve, and who has also been associated in the past with Lil Durk's OTF label. Mimo began rapping somewhat later than many of the other members from 600, but he has since created considerable fame through both rapping and his social media antics. Then you've got people like 600 Breezy, who would end up getting the rap game's most valuable co-sign in 2015 when Drake would suddenly follow him on Instagram, leading to the two working together on several occasions.
What's the deal with you and Drake?
Like
it's following you.
Yeah, it's
on Instagram.
It's crazy because Drake, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't catch a lot of stuff because, you know, my followers are starting to go up now. So, you know, I was just pushing to get 10K. I'm almost at 70K now. So it's like, that's a lot of stuff I don't see and I don't miss. Well, that I do miss. So when he followed me, like, it was just fans just steady commenting like, man, do you know Drake follows you? Drizzy follow you, boy, Drake follow you, Breezy, you up next, boy, you on the way. So I'm, hell no, you know, Drake ain't follow me. I go to his page, you know what I'm saying, go to his followers, right at the top, 600 Breezy. Oh shit.
What?
Last but certainly not least, there are the young'uns who together would...
What? Drake knew about that nigga? Like, Drake knew about that nigga? It's crazy. 2015?
arguably go the hardest to rep Team 600, both in the booth and in the streets. This includes Tay 600, who nowadays goes by Tay Capone, as well as C-Day, who's just as well known for being a rapper as well as being a shooter in the streets, and that also goes for Rondo Number 9, as well as LA Capone, who was commonly seen as one of the most charismatic and promising talents to ever rise from the Chicago drill scene. Lastly, as an honorable mention, it's hard to talk about the rappers repping 600 without mentioning perhaps the most important person in the history of drill music, Keith. While Keith has been more closely associated with O Block, where his mother lived, and Front Street, where his grandmother lived, he was also known to often move around Lamron and 600 and would heavily rep all of these hoods in his early music. Chief Keef would also be rapping in one of 600's very first music videos with E-Day and S. their April 2011 remix of Ace Hood's Hustle Hard, where Keef can actually be seen standing right next to the founder of 600, D-Thang. Not only was this one of the first music videos of 600, but because of the many tragic events that would begin transpiring soon after, it's also one of the very few music videos where most of the 600 members can actually be seen together. In the comments of this video, LA Capone would even chime in, shouting out both 600 and 300, and replying to a comment seemingly getting Chief Keef's affiliations wrong, stating that Chief Keef is in fact 600 too. Together, the rappers of Team 600 would seem unstoppable during the early years of drill music, and between roughly 2011 and 2015, they dropped countless songs that would be considered classics in the Chicago drill genre, and for a good few years, it would seem like nothing could stop 600's rise to the very top. Just like any group of youths.
I told you, dog. 600, they cannot stop them niggas, bro. They couldn't. You had LA Capone going crazy. You have Rondo. Then you had E-Day, bro. You had C-Day and them niggas, bro. Once LA, you know what I'm saying, died, Rondo and C-Day, them niggas both crashed out. And after that, it was just over, dog.
Members of 600 would often hang around their neighborhood, getting in all kinds of trouble. Unfortunately, when it comes to the streets, the youth from 600's neighborhood were getting into some more serious stuff than petty theft or antics on social media. But as Tay's story would highlight, they were also getting pulled into the intergenerational cycle of violence that has plagued Chicago's South Side and other poor parts of the city for decades. Members would blend the inherited beefs and gang affiliations from their older family members and people from the neighborhood together with new rivalries that they started themselves. This could be based on something as simple as going to different schools or dating the same girls. In the case of 600, by the beginning of the drill era around 2011 and 2012, this relatively small set had not only formed many alliances with other nearby sets, such as O Block, Front Street and Lamron, but also many rivalries with the youth from surrounding neighborhoods, which would eventually end up causing their tragic downfall. When it comes to their opposition, members of 600 often mention a set called MOB as one of the earliest and biggest rivalries, going all the way back to when 600 was mainly going by the name Brick City.
Brick City, man. That's how I'm starting.
MOB, which means Mind on Business, was a gang hailing from around 59th Street, particularly around 59th and Wabash and 59th and Michigan.
What's up, man? This is the man, MOB, man. I'm fooling right here under 59th, man. Right here.
However, their turf would range from roughly 59th or 60th to 57th or 56th.
MOB, man, we from 59th to 57, man.
56 and Wabash, man. The brother got locked up over here, man. Free Montana, man.
Nowadays, the younger generation is known to hang around the 56th Street, sometimes also going by the name 6 Block or Scrap Gang. Known best by the rapper Lil Mo, who has raked in millions of views on his music videos in recent years.
You from the south side of Chicago?
Yeah, I'm from 56 in Michigan.
That's what you call MOB?
Yeah, MOB Scrap Gang.
MOB members mainly claim Gangster Disciples and are allied with other GD sets that dominate the area, such as STL, EBT, Geo Drive, and Brick Squad, as well as Jaro City, which is more of a mixed gang set. To signify their alliance with the wider Gangster Disciples, MOB members commonly throw up the rakes, which single the GD pitchfork symbol. They also commonly crack trays, showing 3 fingers cracked in half as a sign of disrespect to black disciples, who tend to throw up the tray or 3, or the gates, to show their status as BDs. MOB were also close with another set called 051 Young Money from the east side of Washington Park, who are mainly of Mickey Cobra heritage. Besides 600 and Brick City, MOB are also ops, with many of 600's allies such as Front Street, O Block, Lamron 300, and THF 46.
Shout out to them from Brick Squad. Shout out
LBG.
Shout out LBG. I them too. Double O. Shout out Double O. Shout out Double O. Shout out Doug. Shout out Doug Double O. Motherfucking Lil Mister. Motherfucking.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? They fuck with who they fuck with, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Most people in this documentary, bro, it's either locked up serving 25 years of life or passed away, dog. That's what's sad.
Swag, I fuck with swag. MOB, that's a must. I'm for this to MOB, that's a must. And my Rico, I can't forget my homie Rico. My homie going crazy.
Wise up for Brick Squad.
Going world style and type of Rico Reckless. We out here. BDK the movement, I made that like I'm JoJo. Oh, gee.
BDK, man, 600K, man. Cracking trays, dropping nails. Shout out to Brick Squad D Block. What's up? STL, what up? Throw up your L's, man. That L's too, man. She don't even know what's going on, but it's real.
Gotta get the ops on camera, man. Gotta get this. Hey, we back on the block. Where Deucey go?
He my big cracking trays, man.
How you went that way?
You already know. That L's to Lamron, man.
BDK, man.
Oh gosh.
Fuck them wise, man. MOB. We out here, man. MOB, we out here. MOB, hey, man. Ain't shit, man. Like that, man. Wait, man. BD's now 75, man. We out here.
I'm telling you, most of the people in this video right here is either dead or they are in jail right now and they're not getting out.
It's only 2 police. Ain't nothing bigger than a bomb, man.
Hey, but we down here. Get to with that, man.
How you know, man? It's MOB, man. Shout out to Brick Squad, STL, man. We out here, man.
Mom found that shit.
I mean, we so BDK over there, man.
In fact, whilst the teenage female shooter KI was commonly considered to have been one of the suspects in the killing of O.D. Perry, which O Block is actually named after, there are also strong rumours that it was in fact members of MOB who did the infamous murder that created the O. This also seems to be what MOB's probably most popular rapper Ruger refers to in his song Exposing Me remix with FBG Duck, when he raps that his ops don't even know who made the O. According to some sources, MOB was originally a much larger set with more members that was named M-Town. M-Town would then eventually transform into MOB as younger members got more active in the streets. And as the drill movement began gaining national and global popularity in 2012, members of MOB would also attempt to create their own wave in music, as well as even posting numerous vlogs about their antics in the hood, providing one of the rawest windows into the environment where these lost youths were growing up.
Leaving the block, man. MOB finna go to my Kenny Brown crib, booger. On MOB TV. Flat on MOB TV.
I like that, man.
You like this? Talk to them. You flat. Talk to them, bro. MOB crazy, man. This going on the MOB vlog. I think this number 3. I hate this motherfucking school, boy. On Junebug, boy. Thornwood High School.
It's crazy how they used to be cool with each other, bro. And then they used to go to school with their ops and everything. Crazy. It's really crazy. Really, if you really think about it, it's really crazy. Just think about it.
Coming in, dude.
Squad, man. MOB.
Unfortunately, despite MOB having undeniable talent in rap and dropping some of the hardest early drill anthems, their members would ultimately have to wait years to gain any considerable success in music. Some of the most well-known rappers from MOB include guys like the rapper Ruger, who became a household name after his song GD Anthem went viral in 2021, landing him a spot on the long-awaited Donda album with Kanye West. However, Ruger had at that point already been rapping for about 10 years, dropping numerous songs with other MOB members in the beginning of the drill movement, while also collaborating with rappers like his cousin FBG Duck from the STL EBT set on 63rd, and more recently with guys like Lil Mo from the new generation of MOB. Then there's Scrap, the little brother of Ruger, one of the alleged top shooters of MOB. There's also Dusky, aka Dusky the Man, another very talented rapper who had been putting out music since the beginning of the drill movement. Then you've got Beans, who is also known as a feared shooter, Buki, who would actually be the one to vlog MOB's early antics, as well as guys like Bebe, Jamo, Lil Shan, Cleon, Nut, and White Girl, who was more like an affiliate rather than a full member, but like with many of these gang beefs, it's not clear exactly why MOB and 600 begun hating each other at the very start. According to some sources, tension between these two sets was inherited due to 600 being affiliated with Front Street, aka Dipset, who MOB was already at war with since the early 2000s. The war between Front Street and MOB, or M-Town, would seemingly begin to affect the younger generation of MOB around 2007, when their friend, a 14-year-old boy called Junebug, was killed in a drive-by shooting. In online speculation, this murder has been pinned on several different sets, one of those being Front Street. According to these rumors, Baldy, who would eventually become heavily affiliated with both Front Street and 600, was involved in the murder. However, members of MOB would deny Front Street's involvement, as later, when police reports about Junebug's murder came public, it appeared that the most likely suspect was a man called Cabbage, real name Julian Myers, who according to the police was a black disciple. However, there is seemingly no agreement between online sleuths about which set Cabbage belonged to.
I just don't know how the people on Reddit know about this stuff. How do they know? For real. How do they know about this stuff? How do they know? For real, let me know. How do they know?
With some claiming Blackgate, while others claiming it could be another gang. MOB has also seemingly given conflicting messages about Junebug's murderer by wearing custom tribute shirts that sometimes imply that Blackgate was responsible, while other times implicating other sets, including 600, by wearing shirts that say RIP Junebug, F Steve Drive, with Steve Drive being another nickname for 600 that they would adopt over the years. In fact, in King Von's music video for the song War With Us, a 600 member Cap 12 can even be seen wearing a headband that says F Junebug. However, other sources like to point out that when 600 was first formed, many of the members were as young as 13, and some were at this point actually friends with the younger MOB members.
I seen in an interview you had mentioned that a lot of your ops you used to be friends with when you were kids.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you met Scrap?
Scrap? Oh, Scrap from MOB. Man, I was young as hell, man. Me and Scrap was probably like, I would say, how old you is when you were in like 5th or 4th grade?
Was that like 10?
Yeah, cause scrap, then that's why I be saying this is what was preparing me for gang. Like, I was going to school, and matter of fact, this before then, that was before even that. But like me and Scrap, we just met because, like I said, a lot of the odds before we was actually in tour with them. We just used to well, how can I say, like, we used to go to a lot of functions with them. Like, we had this place called the Center. It was a Boys and Girls Club, and they was like going too.
Some of the 600 members were even originally affiliated with members from MOB. For example, as MOB members have often pointed out, McAdoo went to school with them despite being from 600's hood. And according to MOB members, he actually used to be a GD before flipping to be a BD and joining 600. According to Tay 600, the friction between MOB and 600 began as a rather harmless rivalry between their schools, but then slowly evolved into a full-blown war.
And like, this was like my homie Mac, he was going to school with them. They was all going to Carter, which was a school that, as we got a little older, my school and his school was in tour with each other. Like, we would do school fights and shit like that. Mac, like I told you, he our homie from my way, but he was going to school with them. And it was like, the tension was slowly but surely building. You feel me? It was slowly but surely building to the point where we like steady telling Mac, like, bro, it's finna get to a point where it's about to be us or them with you. You know what I'm saying?
Some Chiracologists have even claimed that it was McAdoo who started the war by shooting up a party where MOB members were present. Another version of the events has been told by the father of Scrap and Ruger, Big Les, who said in a 16-shot interview that the war actually kicked off due to Scrap getting into a fight with Bite Down.
And Brick told me this before he died. And he said, Les, he said, cuz, I told Zach TV how that war really kicked off with us and 600 and them. And he said he didn't put that part out. But he said that war really kicked off with my son Scrap, with 600 and all them. That's how it really kicked off. You know what I'm saying? So I was there, I saw all that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like I said, this would probably Tay got everything mixed up at, is when my son got into a Bite Down from 600. And they had a fight, so he come in the house. And when he come in the house, he had a little scar on his face. So I said, what's wrong with you? I was about to leave. Yo, man, I just got into a Bite Down, and at the Center, they used to play ball on 62nd and Wabash. So I said, what? So I said, what Machiavelli was that? Now, Machiavelli 600. Now, this my son homie, supposed to be his homie. Yeah. Like, best friend, like they supposed to be.
Oh my, you see what I'm talking about? Used to be homies, now niggas beefing each other now.
You know, and I said, well, yeah.
Because he from this set, and then niggas, and then you gotta choose. Why the fuck we gotta choose? Why?
Like, he across the street. So I go across the street, and there's a bunch of them over there. Tay probably was over there. So when I went over there, I said to them, I said to Machiavelli, what happened, Machiavelli? You let them try to jump on Brian? He, oh no, Pops, wasn't nothing I can do. But Brian at 14, when you used to be, you went to the same school he went to, Carter. You used to hang with Brian. You slept in my house. You hung with Brian. So when y'all all in the hallway, you weren't even hanging with 600 like that. So he hear you upstairs on the 3rd floor. They getting at you. You know what I'm saying? He run all the way upstairs. He telling people, man, look, if y'all touch him, y'all gotta touch me, man. You feel me? So he stood on that. But, you know, that's just what happened, man. You know, we can't control what our kids do.
Most likely, the real reason for the war is somewhere in between the inherited beefs from the older members and affiliates, as well as the interpersonal conflicts that escalated throughout the years. Anyway, MOB are far from the only enemies of 600. 600's other major rivalry was arguably with
They all used to be cool back in school, and then once they got to high school, they just started beefing. So it used to be cool from elementary to middle school, and then this shit. That's crazy that they all used to be cool with each other, dog, hanging out with each other. Then because they from this block, niggas gotta pick and choose, niggas gotta pick sides. Why?
With the gang 051 Young Money. However, unlike MOB and most other rival as well as affiliate sets of 600, 051 Young Money doesn't hail from either Washington Park or the Woodlawn neighborhoods, but is actually entirely on the other side of Washington Park, a neighborhood called Bronzeville, which in Chicago is better known as the Low End. Named after the lower number of streets and the lowly status of the area in the past, when it was filled with the enormous public housing projects, such as the infamous Robert Taylor homes, 051 Young Money was roughly between the 51st and 48th streets from Ellis Avenue to Forestville Avenue, with their main spot being around the 51st and Cottage Grove area, particularly the shopping plaza there, where many of their members could often be seen hanging out on social media. 051 Young Money, often called simply 051 or Young Money, allegedly got started in the late 2000s, coinciding with the death of a young man from the area called Zico, real name Isaiah Walker.
They call me Lil Zico, everybody know me. I ain't never shot a gun, but I stay with the beat.
Zico was tragically shot in 2008 by a young man named Aki Walton, who was affiliated with the nearby BD set 46 Terror that would later become known as THF 46, a set that also has very close ties with 600.
No, it ain't started yet.
What?
No, there you go, right there. Go ahead.
46 Tower, man. Check it out. Get your 46 Tower, man. Some off 43rd, man. Young Money, man. Young Money. Kill about everybody, man. We 46 to the dirt. Oh, we die 5, yeah. We die 5 in this, man. Man, crazy. Man, Young Money, man. That's all that
See this?
Due to Zico's death, 051 has also gone by the name Zico World in his honor, and as a result, they've had a long-standing feud with THF 46. In a clip from 2008, two THF members can actually be seen discussing the murder and openly disrespecting 051 and Zico.
Man, you already know what line. All Young Money to Zico. That Zico, Shawty, man. Shawty gone. Folks got him up out of there, man.
This ain't no damn Zico real, man. This Wall Hood, man, and Cardtown, and Keith Zone, man.
When it comes to repping the historical gangs of Chicago, 051 are generally considered to be a set who primarily rep the gang the Mickey Cobras, named after the legendary Chicago gangster Henry Mickey Cogwell. However, like many modern Chicago sets, 051 members rep and have repped several different gangs over the years, including gangs like the Black P Stones, Gangster Disciples, and even the Black Disciples, despite many of the members also considering themselves BDK or Black Disciple Killers, particularly due to THF 46 being predominantly made up of BDs.
Say it again, he what?
One of the most reckless BDs out here. But I'm BDK, but he BDK. Hold on, don't go nowhere. That's my right Twin Tower shit. Hold on. No. Little bro, reckless BD. BDK.
Moreover, despite 051 being a majority Mickey Cobras, they also identify as MCK or Mickey Cobra Killers due to the fact that THF 46 also has many members that rep that gang. Due to these complex affiliations and rivalries, 051 are generally considered to be so-called renegade Mickey Cobras, GDs, BDs, and P-Stones, meaning that they consider themselves separate from any larger alliances with these gangs and will go to war with anyone, even people that rep those same gangs as them. 051 members are also known to throw up a Y to signify the Young Money part of their set, which to the average observer looks like the devil-horned hand sign popularized by heavy metal groups, but with the knuckles face forwards instead of the palm. Their ops, on the other hand, would often drop the Y, doing that sign upside down and saying Die Y to disrespect members of Young Money. However, some of these ops may also be affiliated with other sets that throw up the Y, such as the set TYMB, who also throw up the Y. Sometimes you might even have people in the very same picture both throwing up the Y and dropping the Y. And 051's ops might also drop the 5 by holding 5 fingers down, which can be seen as a disrespect towards the 5 in 051, as well as the Mickey Cobras, who actually belong to the People's Nation Gang Alliance, which is represented by a 5-point star. Members of 600 might additionally hold up the middle finger, which can be seen to disrespect both Mickey Cobras and 051 specifically, as in 5 and 1. With the number of digits being held up totaling 6, that also represents the 6 from 600. Now, 600 members often also say that they're Die 5, another way of showing the same disrespect, although OG 600 member D Rose was apparently originally part of the Folly Boys set, who are also Black P Stones and part of the People Nation.
I felt like D Rose was pretty much cool with everybody, to be honest.
No, man. I'm high as a motherfucker right now, man. Next summer, man, I'll be dread here, shouting, man. Period, man. Period, man. Shout out to all my man, 600, man.
I'm doing my shit too, GDK Craig.
GDK to
on it.
So they put me in.
600.
Look in my watch.
Shout out to Bang City. We with it.
Hey, yeah, look, y'all, look. When I die, put that 6 in my watch, all right?
All right, man. Hell, we die 5 on here.
No, we not.
Stop saying that. I'm die 5.
Anyway, some of the most prominent 051 members include Melly, who is considered to be one of the most notorious people in the Chicago drill scene. Allegedly a prolific killer for the gang, he has a rumored body count approaching double digits and is considered the #1 shooter for 051. There's also Lil Mark, who made a name for himself in the early drill scene by releasing several songs and music videos that became drill classics, including Zico World and No Competition, which is a remix of Lil Durk's song Competition, as well as also being famous for apparently being the brother of a GD who was infamously killed by the name of Tuka. There's also Driller, who is known as both a rapper and a shooter, Kidda, who was known primarily as a shooter, but recently has begun rapping following his release from prison after a lengthy sentence. However, things could have gone very differently for Kiddo.
Alright, y'all, that's gonna be it for part 2, man. Come back for part 3, man. Like, subscribe, share, man. Part 3. Come back for part 3. You know the vibes, man. Let's go.